own house, how will you investigate the state? Okay, stay with me, because we've also been told that the Special Court for Economic Offences is now likely to pass further orders on a bail petition that is now coming up for hearing. That's supposed to happen anytime now. Belly, what's the update?
The Special Court of Economic Offences is ready to pass orders on the bail petition filed by Ranya's counsel, who had thought that who had argued with the court that there were in the case while she was getting arrested at the Kempegowda International Airport on March 3rd, when she was caught with 14 kilograms of gold. And they also pointed out that this is not a heinous crime, and even if convicted, she will be getting around 7 years, and also showing that she is a woman. They argued with the court that she is entitled for a bail, and there were including there were procedural lapses along with her rights as an accused were violated by the DRI officials who were recording her statements, suiting their own needs, is what the counsel for Ranya Rao told the court.
Okay, so it boils down to a few things. Now, of course, investigations take a deliberate pace, as they should. Okay, this should not be us assuming and presuming things at this point of time. We can only raise questions here and point, because this is now going on for 10-15 days. The very pertinent and very straightforward question is, was she acting alone? Was she a lone operator flying down to Dubai with no purpose other than to smuggle gold, right? So she was flying down using her privilege, her connections and her contact and her status as a member of the family of the highest ranking police officer. Was she operating alone? It's a very straightforward question. The second question is, if she was not operating alone, were it simply a gang of low-level functionaries who were using her without the knowledge of anybody, which means that a person who lives in the house or is a family member of the highest ranking police officer in Karnataka, that person was clueless as to what this individual was doing, and that himself does not leave him colored in flying happiness. But let's boil it down. We only have, Belly, at this point of time, one person whom we know for sure who has been arrested. Are there other arrests being made or likely to happen in the next day or two?
Of another person, a close business associate of Ranya Rao, who's identified as Tarun Raju, who's a businessman, and he happens to be from an affluent family, and the DRI have found out evidence that this was the person who has secured had handed over to Ranya Rao for her to bring it to Bengaluru. So he has been in the custody of DRI for 5 days, and today, as we speak, he has been produced before the Special Court of Economic Offences, and he had been remanded to judicial custody.
So Belly, this is very thanks. Now we don't know whether she's going to get bail or not. Generally, a bail is your right, okay, as an individual, unless you're convicted and sent to prison by a court. But a court decides whether in the investigative process your requirement in either police or judicial custody is required. There's a fair chance that it continues. We don't know. The court will rule on that. But the bottom lines don't change. Was she acting alone? The assumption is probably not. If she wasn't acting alone, who knew? Greed, money it's going to damage her life, and it's going to damage the reputation of the DGP of Karnataka, even if he was totally clueless. You draw an assumption that he had no idea what she was doing, but as a family member, certain privileges and perks were being doled out to her, including access to the airports, and we have to assume that she was using that privilege, that I am the family member of the DGP, to get past normal routine security protocols. We have to assume that could have been happening. It's assuming that the DGP of Karnataka is completely clueless of what was happening, and he was no charges have been made against him in person that we are aware of. So even if we assume for a second that he was totally clueless, it will be so humiliating that you had a criminal in your own house who was repeatedly doing this for a long period of time and was escaping scrutiny. How do you police the state if you cannot police the four walls in which you live. Very embarrassing position to have put her stepfather into. And of course, what's it all for? It's all for greed. It's all for money. You make an arbitrage difference in gold value of 10-12%, and for that reason you do all of these things. You damage and destroy your life and embarrass and humiliate those people who are near to you and probably hold you in good stead. Thank you for now. Let's shift focus